Today we delve into the story of the Ganges River in India, a powerful example of how development impacts water bodies. Known affectionately as Ma Ganga or Mother Ganges, this river is the lifeblood of India, sustaining its people both physically and spiritually. For millennia, the Ganges has flowed from the Himalayas, carving a path through the heart of India, nurturing its civilizations. But today, we find the Ganges at a crossroads, grappling with the consequences of progress. The very waters that nourish life can become conduits for pollution, impacting ecosystems and the people who depend on them. Join us as we journey down the Ganges, exploring the delicate balance between human needs and environmental preservation. The Ganges, once a symbol of purity, now faces a grave threat: pollution. Untreated sewage from burgeoning cities and industrial waste flow directly into the river, turning its once pristine waters toxic. The sheer volume of pollutants overwhelms the river's natural ability to cleanse itself. Fish species, once abundant, struggle to survive, their populations dwindling. The Ganges River dolphin, an indicator species for the river's health, is now critically endangered, its very existence hanging by a thread. These creatures, who rely on echolocation to navigate the murky waters, are rendered blind and disoriented by the pollution. The riverbed itself is changing, suffocating under a blanket of silt and debris. The delicate balance of the ecosystem is disrupted, impacting everything from insect life to migratory birds that depend on the river for sustenance. The human cost is equally profound. Millions depend on the Ganges for drinking water, irrigation, and their livelihoods. The polluted waters pose a significant health risk, leading to waterborne diseases that disproportionately affect the most vulnerable populations. Fishermen, who for generations have cast their nets into these waters, now find their catches dwindling, their livelihoods threatened. The very river that sustained them is now jeopardizing their way of life. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, efforts are underway to clean up the Ganges. Sewage treatment plants are being constructed and industries are being held accountable for their waste. The task is daunting, requiring a concerted and sustained effort from all stakeholders. Will future generations know the Ganges as a polluted scar or as a symbol of successful restoration? The Ganges River is not just an environmental crisis, it is a human one. As India's population grows, so too does the demand for water. The Ganges, already strained, becomes a source of conflict, pitting communities against each other. Farmers who rely on the river for irrigation find their water access increasingly limited. Droughts, exacerbated by climate change, intensify the competition for this precious resource. Tensions rise as upstream communities prioritize their needs, leaving downstream communities struggling to survive. The disparity between urban and rural areas is stark. Cities, with their growing populations and industries, often have preferential access to water, leaving rural communities vulnerable and marginalized. Ensuring equitable access to clean water is not just about infrastructure, it's about social equity and human rights. The women of the Ganges Basin, often tasked with fetching water, bear the brunt of this inequality. They walk for miles each day, carrying heavy vessels, their lives consumed by the search for this basic necessity. The fight for water is a fight for dignity, for survival, and for a future where the Ganges can sustain all who depend on it. Water harvesting techniques, efficient irrigation systems, and equitable water sharing agreements are crucial steps in the right direction. The Ganges River's future depends on our ability to recognize the interconnectedness of human and environmental well-being. The Ganges is not just a river, it is a goddess, Ganga, revered by millions. Its waters are believed to cleanse sins, heal ailments, and provide spiritual liberation. For Hindus, a pilgrimage to the Ganges is a sacred journey, a chance to connect with the divine. But the pollution of the Ganges poses a profound dilemma, a clash between faith and reality. The very waters believed to purify are now contaminated, posing risks to those who bathe in them. The act of faith becomes a potential health hazard, forcing devotees to confront the dissonance between belief and the visible degradation of their sacred river. Religious leaders and organizations are playing a vital role in raising awareness about the plight of the Ganges, They recognize that protecting the river is not just an environmental imperative, but a spiritual obligation. Campaigns are underway to discourage the disposal of religious offerings in the river and to promote eco-friendly alternatives. The government's Namami Gange project, which aims to rejuvenate the Ganges, recognizes the importance of integrating faith and conservation. The future of the Ganges lies in our ability to reconcile faith with environmental responsibility. The Ganges River is not just a sacred river, it is an economic lifeline for millions. Its fertile basin supports a vast agricultural industry, providing livelihoods for farmers and sustenance for communities. Tourism too thrives on the banks of the Ganges, drawing visitors from across the globe to witness its beauty and cultural significance. But the pollution and degradation of the Ganges have cast a long shadow over these economic activities. Agricultural yields are declining as farmers struggle with polluted irrigation water and depleted fish stocks. The livelihoods of those who depend on the river's bounty are increasingly precarious. Tourism, once a flourishing industry, faces an uncertain future. The allure of the Ganges is tarnished by the visible pollution. Visitors are deterred by the foul odor and the sight of trash-filled waters. The economic benefits that tourism brought to local communities are dwindling. The decline of these industries has a ripple effect throughout the Ganges basin. Poverty and unemployment rise, forcing people to migrate in search of work. Restoring the health of the Ganges is not just an environmental imperative. It is an economic necessity. By investing in the river's future, we invest in the well-being of millions who depend on it. The Ganges River, already grappling with human pressures, faces a new threat: climate change. The glaciers in the Himalayas, the source of the Ganges, are retreating at an alarming rate due to rising global temperatures. This glacial melt, which feeds the river, is becoming increasingly unpredictable, threatening the long-term water security of millions. The monsoon patterns, vital for India's agriculture and water supply, are also becoming erratic. Extreme rainfall events are becoming more frequent, leading to devastating floods that inundate farmland and displace communities. In contrast, prolonged dry spells exacerbate water scarcity, pitting communities against each other in a competition for dwindling resources. The combined effects of glacial retreat and erratic monsoons are a double whammy for the Ganges. The river's flow is becoming increasingly unpredictable, making it difficult to manage water resources effectively. Climate change is a threat multiplier for the Ganges, exacerbating existing problems of pollution, over-extraction, and habitat degradation. Addressing climate change requires a global effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The future of the Ganges depends on our ability to mitigate climate change and adapt to its impacts. The Ganges River, despite the multitude of challenges it faces, is not beyond hope. A growing movement to restore the river to its former glory is gaining momentum. From grassroots initiatives to government programs, there is a growing recognition that the time to act is now. The government's flagship Namami Gange project, launched in 2014, represents a renewed commitment to cleaning up the Ganges. The project, with its multi-billion-dollar budget, focuses on sewage treatment, industrial effluent monitoring, and riverfront development. New sewage treatment plants are being constructed, and existing ones are being upgraded to handle the increasing volumes of waste. Alongside these infrastructural developments, public awareness campaigns are playing a crucial role in changing behaviors. People are being educated about the importance of waste segregation, water conservation, and the harmful effects of polluting the river. Religious leaders are joining the movement, urging devotees to treat the Ganges with respect and refrain from polluting its waters. Communities living along the banks of the Ganges are becoming active participants in the river's rejuvenation. The task of restoring the Ganges is immense, but the commitment and passion of those involved offer a glimmer of hope. The Ganges River's story is a testament to the resilience of nature and the power of collective action. The Ganges River story is a stark reminder of the consequences of unsustainable development, but it also offers hope through ongoing restoration efforts. The challenges are immense, but the commitment of individuals, communities, and governments to revive this sacred river provides a glimmer of optimism. The Ganges' journey to recovery is a long and arduous one. requiring a multi-pronged approach that addresses pollution, water scarcity, climate change, and the social and economic needs of the communities that depend on it. It is a journey that demands a shift in perspective, from seeing the river as a resource to be exploited to a precious ecosystem to be cherished and protected. The future of the Ganges, and indeed of rivers around the world, depends on our ability to find harmony between human progress and environmental preservation. Let's strive for a balance between progress and preservation, ensuring that future generations inherit a Ganges that flows clean, vibrant, and full of life.